like I said, um, I have nothing to say. I have nothing to say. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, guys. Okay. What I wanted to say to you is that whenever you're involved in a relationship, it's important to understand your person. It's important to understand the next person. Meaning that it's actually important to understand each other, right? It makes the relationship easy somewhere somehow. If you don't understand each other, that's where complication starts. Even if you communicate, you won't be able to hear each other. So if you really want to make it out, to make your relationship work out, listen to each other. Not only listen to each other, understand each other. That is the key. That is the foundation. Because if you don't understand each other, it means you won't listen to each other, which also means that regardless of how much you communicate with each other, it won't make a change or a difference. So don't forget to listen to each other and understand each other. You know, that's the key. That's the key, guys. Listen, listen, understand. Then communication. It will be effective. As much as they say communication, it's important in a relationship. Do not misuse the concept when they say, excuse us, communication is the key in a relationship. It is only important when you listen and understand each other. If you don't listen and you don't understand each other, I don't see the point of you communicating, because I can't hear you, you can't hear me, you can't understand me, I can't understand you. So what are we communicating about? So it becomes exhausting to communicate with the person who can't hear you. It becomes exhausting to communicate with who don't understand you. So that's all I wanted to say to you guys. Make sure that when you're communicating with your person, they can listen to you, they can hear you, they can understand you. So my point is, it is useless to say communication is a key in a relationship if you don't understand each other, if you can't hear each other. It isn't gonna make any difference. It doesn't matter how much you're gonna say, it doesn't matter how much you shout. But then if I don't understand it and I can't hear what you're saying, it's not worth it's not worth it. Have you ever been in a space where you become exhausted in communicating with your partner? It happens. It happens that you become exhausted to communicate with your partner. You don't just become exhausted. You become exhausted because this person cannot hear what you're saying. Worse, they don't even understand what you're saying. But then at some point, we happen to say that communication is a key in a relationship. So if it's a key in a relationship, but then I cannot understand what you're saying, and I cannot even hear what you're saying, I don't see the point of us communicating, because I can't hear you and I can't understand you. So for all those of you who are involved in relationships, dating, and all that, make sure that you communicate because you can understand and you can hear each other. So establish those basics first. Make sure your person can hear you and make sure that they can understand what you're saying. Then your communication can be effective. That is when we can say that communication is a key in a relationship. But then otherwise, there isn't a way communication can be effective in a relationship if we cannot listen to each other nor understand each other. You get what I'm saying? So build the foundation of you and your person. so you can understand each other of what the next person is saying by hearing them and understanding what they're saying. So imagine right now you are having misunderstanding with your person, right? But then somewhere somehow you can't seem to understand the point they're trying to say on the other side, which results into arguments. We argue about things we don't understand. We're trying to prove our own points on the other side, right? So I'm trying to make my point to you, and you're also trying to make your point to me. It doesn't really it doesn't really make a difference. So that is why most of people end up just arguing, but then at the same time misusing the words, saying that communication is the key. It is only a key if I can understand what you're saying. You get what I'm saying? So give you the practical example. You go in an English class and you teach English in what? In Spanish. And you expect the kids to understand English. So it's a whole different story when you have to communicate with the person, but then you are using the language they do not understand. So if you really want to make sense with the person, if you really want to make your person understand you or your partner understand you, find a way to communicate with your person, you know, so that they can hear you and what and understand you. So because the point of argument is because we are trying to emphasize, we're trying um to transpire the message to the next person. But then if I can't understand what you're saying, then it's meaningless, it's pointless. That is why people end up, breaking up. Is because of now there is a barrier in between these two people. Simple stuff. You realize that you're not over this person, but then somewhere somehow you cannot be with this person. Why? Because you don't understand each other. So you ask yourself a question again and say, how difficult can it be to communicate? And you realize communicating is not that difficult. The problem is making the person understand you and hear you. Because you talking too much doesn't mean that I can hear you. That's a fact. You talking too much doesn't mean I can understand you. You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah, my point to you is that if you were to say communication is a key in a relationship, try and make it effective, right? By doing what? Make sure that your person can hear you. My ear is not that big, guys. I was gonna stretch it out so that you can see what I'm saying. Make your person hear you and understand you. It's pointless to say we should communicate in our relationship if you can't hear me and I can't understand you. So let's understand each other. Let's hear out each other. You know, let's sit down like civil people. Tell me how you feel, and I tell you how I feel, and we try to meet each other halfway. That's communication, right? So to avoid so much arguments, so much conflict, so much fights in a relationship, it is important to express yourself. And expressing yourself, it requires you to find a way to talk to your person. One thing that I can tell is that um, you have to learn, you have to study your person, you have to study your partner, meaning that um, you have to get to know how to talk to them so that they can understand you. It is more likely to be, we can compare it with a love language, right? A love language is more of how you show affection to your person, right? Yes. So the way you happen to show affection to your person is the way they get to see and receive your love. So the only best way you happen to share your love to your person or to show affection, it's when you happen to show it in their love language. right? So if my love language, it's a word of affirmation, and you happen to, let's say you're buying me gifts, and I'm not much of a gift person, I'm not much of a materialistic person. I'm more of, word of affirmation and all that. It's a problem, because somewhere somehow the point that you're trying so hard to show how much you care, how much you love. On the other side, it might not be transpired the same way. I might not understand you, because you are using a different or a wrong love language. So the best way is to use the language that your person understands. So if you were to show affection to your person, please use the language that they understand. You get what I'm saying? I'm teaching. This is a class. So use a language that your person would understand, so that they can see your affection. So if your person's love language is, it's it's physical touch. It is a way for you to show them how much you love or how much you care. I don't know if I make sense, right? So if your person's love language is materialistic stuff, that is the love language you should use to show the affection you have for them. So this takes us back to our conversation that if you want to communicate with the person, use a language that they understand. You get what I'm saying? Don't just do things. You're making things complicated. You're confusing them. They're losing you. You know what? I'm losing you because of network. So please make sure that they understand you. I can see someone here says that they have a question. Yeah, please, you can ask your question. It's Madela. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Sorry. Yeah, sure, sure. You're welcome to join the club. You're welcome to join the family club. This is our family club, and if you have any question you'd like to ask, you're more than welcome. So yeah, our main topic was to make you guys to understand, because